Yeah, I'm just gonna keep talking while keeping an eye on my surroundings. Because, yeah, unfortunately, this is like the kind of place that the snowballers would really love to, to come to. Maybe I should go back underground or just like into the nether or something. Because, yeah, I do kind of think that the people who would be here at this stage in the game are probably not the people I can take on. Butter has strength. Butter and Predator are competing for the strength. But yeah, no, so before the episode ended, and before I got, like, sort of cut off because I was in this, I'm in a more tense position than I was previously. Yeah, I was talking about Butter died. Oh no. I think the Enderman's just going to teleport away if I attack him, so I won't bother. I might want my bird and my hotbar. But yeah, I was talking about Blood on the Clock Tower rolls, and yeah, my Sect and Violence is the one that it's called. It's like, that's the script that gets a bit too logic puzzly for me. Like, oftentimes, a game of Sect and Violence, if you just sit there and think about it for a few minutes, you will solve it. And that's like, you know, the logic puzzles are interesting, but for me, what I don't really love about that is that it makes the evil team feel like they are there as a puzzle to be solved, rather than, like, for the good team to have fun, rather than... It sort of robs them of a bit of their agency, which normally the evil team holds a lot of in Clock Tower. Oh, nice. Is that, like... Yeah, saturation. Nice. Oh, we'll keep... I want one of the titles to my name, we'll keep going with this. I could hunt... Fruit is on my current recorded round enemies list. I could go to the nether and just try and specifically hunt him down. That could be fun. If I find a lava pool, I'll probably do that. But yeah, so... Yeah, I guess I could just go through some more roles I enjoy and... where should we start? One of my favourite minions in the game, and this will introduce another concept I love. So the most important sort of like keywords in the game are drunkenness and poisoning, which do the same thing. You think you have an ability but you don't. Then there's then there's this is the one I love, madness. Madness, it means if you are mad about something in Clock Tower, you have to pretend that thing is true. And there is a minion role, so the, you know, Chaos Causer, which basically says, it's called the Serenovas, and its ability is that each night pick a player and a role. The next night... Oh, is this a mine? There's no way this, like, generated naturally, right? Yeah, this might just be some, like, bizarre generation. Unless I, like, covered it up with dirt? No. Okay, no idea. But yeah, so basically, pick a player and a role, and that the next day, the next player has to, like, convincingly pretend to be that role, or they will get executed. Which is really fun. I think I love being mad, and I love making other people mad. So for me, that role is just like fun for everyone involved with it. It's awesome. And yeah, there's a bunch of roles. There's another one that makes you mad that another player's evil. In fact, in our game yesterday, I got to save the demon from being executed because what happened? What was it that happened? It was that yeah, the person I made Sid. You all know Sid. If you're in the UHC community, you should know Sid. But yeah, the Serenovas chose to make Sid mad that he was a role, and Sid claimed a different role in the town square. So I let all the voting happen and stuff, and let them like think they were about to execute the demon, and then I just announced that Sid was executed immediately end of the day, and I just like reveled in the sheer confusion from all the players in that moment. Like they were so lost, and they I was just like I muted myself in the night phase of the game, so I was just sat there muted, listening to them like speculate about like what could have caused it, what could possibly have made this happen. And yeah, they eventually cottoned on and figured it out. But yeah, no, it was just such a fun moment to have while and yeah, but yeah, that's one of my favorite minions in the game. My other favorite minion is called the Mazephiles, and its ability reads: you start knowing a secret word. The first person to say this word becomes evil that night. So I've never drawn it before. I don't think we've ever actually seen one in our games, but the Mazephiles is yeah, the Mazephiles turns a guy evil, and I think the way I would play it, because I find this more fun, instead of just asking people if they want to join the evil team, which is very common. Ooh, pictures. Interesting. But yeah, a lot of people, when they play Mazephiles, you will just see them going around saying, like, hey, want to join the evil team? Say this word. And that's fun, but I think tricking someone into saying the word and like blindsiding them with "you're now evil" is so much funnier, and that's definitely what I'd be doing if I drew that token. Yeah. And yeah, also the fact that, good players can turn evil. I don't believe evil players can turn good. Evil players can swap with good players, so evil players can turn good. Oh yeah, that's another very fun role. There's a role called the Snake Charmer, where each night pick a player. If you pick the demon, you become the new evil demon, and they become a poison snake charmer. So, effectively, the design behind Snake Charmer is that it is one of the most powerful information roles in the game. You point at someone, and if nothing happens, you know for a fact that that person is not the demon. And having that kind of like hard confirmation is incredibly rare in Clock Tower. So, as a snake charmer, you want to be, you want to be picking as many people as you can. But if you get too reckless as the snake charmer and actually end up picking the demon, you are now on an evil team and you've created a good player, and the demon has now turned good and knows the entire evil team except you. You don't know who your evil team is, you don't know any, like, bluff rolls. It's basically like... it's just this amazing game of chicken where you're trying to hit as many people who aren't the demon as possible, but if you accidentally, if you misplay, you're just, your role is still helping the town win, but you're just no longer part of the town if you get too reckless. That's another of my favourite roles. And yeah, I think I also, just to showcase how deranged the mechanics of this game get, let's talk about two of the roles that we haven't played with yet because they are just too advanced for our group. So our group has played about 50 games of this, which sounds like a lot, but there's some roles you probably shouldn't be playing with until you get into the hundreds. One of those is the Atheist. The Atheist is a role where if there's an Atheist in the game, there is no evil team. The person running the game is just making things up as they go along and is trying to convince you that this is an actual game of Blood on the Clock Tower. And so what ends up happening there is you have basically the only way for the good team to win in that scenario is to vote out the storyteller. The person running the game needs to be the one to be voted out. However, the complication to this, naturally, is that if an evil team manages to convince you to vote out the storyteller, but it's not actually an Atheist game, you know... well, as you can probably imagine, evil just instantly wins right then and there. And I have just never seen anything like that done in a social deception game. It's just such a great example of how creative the designers get with their roles. And the other role that I always sort of put in a similar box to the Atheist is there's a role called Legion, one of the demons. We haven't played with this one either yet. I've got some plans for whatever we do because I really love the role. But basically, the way Legion works is rather than there is no evil team, the entire game, apart from three to four people generally, are on the evil team. And this doesn't mean it's an easy win, because the evil team cannot... in a Legion game, the evil team cannot vote someone out by themselves, and they cannot decide who to kill. The person running the game... Oh, oh my god. But yeah, the person running the game decides everyone who dies. The demon does not get to decide who to kill, which is, normally their big power, and... the other part is that if only evil players vote, it doesn't go through. So Legion need to convince one of the few good players in the game to vote with them. Either by convincing them that it's not a Legion game. So, what I love about this is that there's some very popular scripts with both Legion and the Atheist on them. And I just love that if you start a game on one of those scripts, you don't know whether there's no evil team and the storyteller is simulating a game of Blood on the Clock Tower going on around you, or if everyone else in the game is evil and they're all simulating a game of Blood on the Clock Tower going on around you. And yeah, that is... I don't think there's anything I can say that better encapsulates just how insane Clock Tower gets, and how, the level of, mind games that you get into at the advanced levels of play. And yeah, so I've not quite got to playing with some of those roles yet, but we are close enough that I'm tasting that, and I'm very excited. And genuinely, yeah, if any of what I've just told you sounds interesting and you want to play with me and Sid and a bunch of my uni friends, I have a group going and we run pretty regularly, so feel free, if you know me, feel free to message me on, yeah, here or my socials or, yeah, anywhere, and I will see about adding you to the group. It's my favourite game of all time. It's not close. It's just like it's so good. I think also just in terms of game, I think we should go into another. No. I can never tell if I don't think I've been there before. I don't think that happened naturally. Caden, ooh, bro. Oh, Brody's gonna be a big threat this game. Okay. Oh, I fucked up. That's not how you make another portal. There we go. Okay, so we need a second bucket for this. I don't know how long we have left to do this either, but... And we'll want a lava bucket just for when we're in the nether. That's immensely useful. Oh, wait, shit, I have, like... No, I should go up and get the apples before I do this, probably. Let's... Oh. I probably forgot the saplings, didn't I? Right. Yeah. So I'm gonna have to actually focus on the game for a minute. I should get like a little X right there. I don't know. I think maybe I'll poke my head into the nether even without having made all the apples I could. I'll make my portal now. Why not? This is how the speedrunners do it, by the way. I'm gonna poke my head in just a second. For the adventure, you know. This always like tenses me up to do. It doesn't matter how many times I've done it. Oh, we could try a. I was gonna say we could try a boat for like MLG boats, but. I mean, there's a fortress that someone's obviously been killing blazes in our game. There's a second portal. Ow, oh no. Oh, shit. This is fucking disastrous already. I think we're leaving. Oh no. Went into the nether for 10 seconds, lost all my healing life. Wonderful. Classic. See you next time.